So go to Gualter Amarello.
Mike Schein! This is the 100 Millionaires Podcast. I'm Gualter Amarello. Mike, bring us in with your introduction.
Gualter Amarello, massive income from passive income. The idea is not where to go. It's not on that screen. The idea is not to work hard.
Oh, the point is not to work, it's to generate income. I got it right there.
Yeah.
There it is. So, yes, to go and see the live on Facebook, you just go to gualteramarello.com. No, go to Gualter Amarello on Facebook. Go to my business page, which is Real Estate Mentor, and then it should be in the live feed right now as we speak. And I just pulled it up, so it is working.
Where do the comments show?
The comments will show up right underneath it. So when you click on it, just know that it's going to make a little sound. You're going to start hearing the sound, so you just have to turn the volume off.
Yeah, I've got it muted. Cool.
Then you're all set. Yep, comments will show up right there.
Sweet.
And you can keep an eye on them. Excellent.
Excellent.
So that being said, Mike, there's a big topic I want to talk about, which is the hobby of kings. Have you ever heard of gold collecting as the hobby of kings?
I did not. That's kind of cool.
So this is the concept of precious metals holding their value. Warren Buffett shifting over to gold, and
gold.
Maybe we should be mining some gold, get those flakes going. Or there's always silver, right? Silver, the currency of the everyday man. Now,
so between gold and Bitcoin, where would you rather be? Because I think I'd rather be in Bitcoin. I don't know. Warren Buffett never wanted gold. I went to see him live, and he specifically said that it's just a rock and it doesn't do anything. And then this year, he's heavy into gold.
He's changed his tune because in the past it was a rock, and now with cryptocurrency, and I love that you said it, with cryptocurrency, with the volatility of the dollar, with the volatility of the stock market, something like gold holds, all we want is for it to hold inflation, right? So if you look at the way gold has moved over the last 10, 20 years, it has gone up in the most ridiculous. So if you look over 50 years, gold used to be 50 something dollars. And now it's at 1900. So it's fluctuated so significantly just in the last 2 years. 2 years ago, it was at 1400, and it's fluctuated significantly. So what we're looking at is, as inflation continues, as this expansion,
just a hedge.
It's a hedge. Like you're making money, you can look at it as a dividend, right? You can look at it as like a volatile stock. Every day that it goes by, you're making money.
This is before your time, but I remember a long time ago, Brenda and I were talking about how expressive you are, where we say something like, it's so funny, we were watching, and I said that we've been decluttering for 10 years, and your eyes went, it was really
a long time. A long time to declutter, Mike.
It's so fun. It's great. Anyways, so people who are not watching this on Facebook don't get to see your expressions. They're missing out.
They're missing out.
But I remember a long time ago, gold went up to $400 an ounce.
Yep.
And I just remember all these people taking their jewelry to shops and stuff like that, and selling all their jewelry. And there were companies that you could take an envelope, drop it in, send it to them, and they'd send you a check and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
That still exists.
It was a craze. I mean, this was like, yeah.
You can send your envelopes to me. I buy gold, just under spot price, about 20% discount. Yeah. Pretty consistent with everything else. 20% discount.
You remind me of the bank, the exchange banks when you go to Europe or you go to another country and you're in the airport. They're like, hey, that $10, that $100 is now worth $70, but at least you've got some euros. Like,
now you've got the euro.
Yeah, that's great.
So I've been doing a lot of research on it, and if you see me start saying, "Hey, I buy gold, hobby of kings," it's because it's just like real estate to me. It's the same exact concept, same exact model. I want to buy it at a discount, and I want to sell it at the maximum price. And sometimes, buying raw gold like this, you can get it cheap.
Yeah.
Because the person doesn't have the time to go smelt it. You get it smelted, stamped into bullion or coins. now it goes up in value significantly. As long as you can buy it at a discount. It's just like flipping a house. You're flipping gold, except
Hey,
I'm not
wait,
looking to
before
sell
you
it.
keep going, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, just do me a favor and just write in the comment that you're watching or something like that. I just want to see the comments come up. So if you're on there, say
Excellent.
something.
Yeah, if you're on
And
Facebook
you may
Live,
get a prize. What do we have? Like $100. We got something prop money. Prop money.
should I be giving away some of this, or maybe we'll just give away some prop money. We'll give you away some of this
Money.
stuff
And
right
at the
here.
end of the year, anybody you've been entered into a contest where you will get bullion.
Whoa! Prop money.
Yeah, Frank
We'll give you some
Montero. Frank
stacks.
Montero checked in. Nice job.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. That's awesome.
So now we know the Facebook Live feed works. We can
Yeah.
follow it and comment, because previously you and I were pretty blind to that.
Yeah, you know what's kind of cool? I scrolled up so I don't have to see our faces because it's distracting to have live and a 7-second delay or whatever it is. So this.
That's interesting, Mike, because I scrolled down so I can see our faces on both sides.
See what we're doing?
Love the distraction. Oh, look at that. We're a little delayed on Facebook. That's interesting.
We had somebody make a comment that they liked our podcast, but they would rather have it in listening mode. And I was thinking it's because I watched myself last week and I make all sorts of weird expressions. I'm like looking out at the parking lot. Brenda's like, did somebody pull in the parking lot? At that
No,
moment?
I'm just looking.
I have no idea what I'm doing. So
Nope. There.
yeah, I got a question for you. In front of your camera, do you have like a picture of Dorina or something that allows you to stay focused on your camera or anything like that?
I actually have my face, so I just look at. No, I have you. I have you up there.
I have me.
I keep you right there. So this is a pro tip for everybody who does Zoom. If you want to look like you're engaging with people, pro tip.
Yeah.
Just
Quick tip.
put their head right where the camera is. So a lot of people have dual monitors.
All right, so wait, let's do this in real time. So I minimize I minimize the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, keep it about this small. Yeah.
Okay, and then I put it right underneath. But okay, so does it look like I'm looking at you now? Or
It does. I feel more engaged. This is nice, Mike. Wow. I feel like you're finally
pro
paying
tip.
attention. But then watch. This is when I shifted over to another monitor.
Yeah.
This is me watching. So I feel like I'm still engaging. But
Yeah, I actually said something last week about the fact, because I was looking up that book on Edison, Westinghouse. And I don't want you to think I was rude, but I was on the other monitor. Yeah. So
You know who
back to
pays
gold.
attention?
Back to gold. Brenda's like, you're always interrupting, Gualter.
Well, that's the high eyes, right?
Yeah.
You know who pays attention to that so in depth is Terry Wager. When we're on the coaching calls and
Yeah.
we're doing the podcast, not the podcast, we're doing the mentorship calls.
Yeah.
If I've called on him and we're talking and I look over for just a second, he's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, it's like, whoa, Terry, I'm working on a Canva background so I can be more badass. Just give me a sec.
I have a daughter. I don't know if you met Hannah at least
I
once.
met Hannah, yep.
And she
And a
is
boyfriend, yep.
she is spot on. Like if you're talking to her and you look away or do something, she's like, what happened? Is something wrong? I'm like, wow, that's so, I don't know what that is. What is that? A I, an S, a C? What is that?
That's just, she's very attentive.
Gotcha.
Probably a D. There's a good chance that there's D or I in there because she's very aware, very, attentive to you and wants your attention.
Yep.
And I've met Hannah. She's quiet. So I'd say she's probably D. Women tend to be quieter when they're Ds because they don't have to say much because you're still going to do what they want. So
she's definitely got that D in her. She's
she's very awesome. Knows what she wants,
right.
Getting it. And then you think about her boyfriend, more soft, gentle, S, C.
X.
What is it?
X.
X is for a reason. Great guy. Loved him. So hobby of kings.
Back to gold.
Gold. Let's pull out of this one. So when we talk about assets and things that people should be holding, I have a lot of faith in the dollar. I really do. When I compare it to other currencies.
Sure.
But I don't have a lot of faith in the dollar when I talk about the dollar itself, what it buys right now. I think it's going to buy less a year from now. I think it's going to buy even less 2 years from now. And that's in terms of real estate, real assets.
Right.
Gold. watch the price of gold. There's a book called Aftermath, and
I'm writing it down.
yeah, this is a tough one, Mike. But economically, you would understand all the terminology because you're very good at it. But when you look at the coins, right, the coins that are out there, some of these are 90% silver. Some of them are a percentage of pure gold.
Where are you buying these things from?
Well, Hobby of Kings is a website that sells gold, sells different coins, all sorts of coinage. And
okay. So you're not going to pawn shops around Fall River and finding gold?
absolutely. No, I absolutely have. Absolutely do. Pawn shops, the flea market. In fact, these were flea market purchases. What was clever was the gentleman was like, oh, well, I know the price of silver. I know what this is worth. And he's pulling out a book that is about a year old. And I told him, yeah, you're a really smart guy. Bag them all up. Let's go. Because silver has gone up in price.
Yeah, right.
He told me spot price, $19. I was like, yep.
What is it now?
$24.
Wow.
So it was, great opportunity. And if you don't know, if you're not looking, you're going to miss out. Right now, obviously, by me telling everybody that this is what I'm doing, I've probably just wiped out the local stores. But
yeah, I'm not doing it yet, but my intention is to do the same with Bitcoin. I'm really leaning on Mitch Jaworski. I'm going to get one of those wallets, like the hard wallets.
Yep.
And I think that that's kind of a cool hedge. And I think I said before, ARK Invest, she says that you should have some Bitcoin. Obviously, Mitch and his REIT, which I think is actually, you probably feel the same way, but our REIT and his REIT are going to be the same REIT. I don't see how they don't dovetail.
I don't see why it wouldn't be. And if crypto is the way of the future, then it makes a lot of sense for us.
Right.
Right.
I also think that his having that, he was saying he had that little problem is actually an opportunity for you and I, because it was like, wait a second, you were about to 100x your money and you didn't.
You're not live yet?
You didn't mention it to us?
This is pre-IPO?
Yeah.
I'm with this. I'd rather buy now.
Let's go.
Let's go. Sounds like a penny stock to me, sir. I'm in.
Yeah.
Full interest.
The universe. Oh, speaking of penny stocks, I just want to mention a couple of mine that are doing pretty well right now.
Oh, no.
No, I mean, I sold some that are also doing well, so don't.
No, same here.
But I wanted to mention, there's a company that ARK Invest calls Nano Dimensions, NNDM. This is not stock advice. This is just Gualter and I chatting about what we do. Trust me, we lose money.
That's it. We've lost money. We're not putting it out there like we'll do it again, but we have in the past on this particular part of our portfolio.
But Nano Dimension, which I bought they do like 3D printing at like the nano level, and ARK Invest likes them. But when I bought it, it was like a $2 something, like a week or two ago, and it's $321 now. So it's awesome. Anyways, NNDM is the symbol for that one.
Its 52-week low is 51 cents, but its 52-week high was $4.89. So it has been higher than it is right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then my other one that I'm really excited about, which is also one that ARK Invest has, is called Pacific Biosciences.
Yeah.
Pacific Biosciences does something similar to Illumina, which Illumina was all the way up at like $300 and something a share.
Wow.
But these guys do what's called long chain DNA. Okay, so Illumina does the short one, but the longer one is the ones that you're going to go to your doctor. They're going to find in this long chain analysis that they can do super, super fast now, whether you have a gene for something like a disease, and they can take it right out. Doctors can, but these guys are actually doing gene sequencing. And I remember Chicken Genius saying something about the fact that Pacific Bioscience had the longer chain, which Illumina did not have. So that's a good one. That's a good one. Anyways, it went up over $14, and it actually went over 13, I think yesterday, the day before. It's a cool little company. That one I'm just holding on to. I have big belief in that for like the next 10 years.
So similar to Tesla?
Yeah, it's a disruptor company because It used to take like 9 months to sequence one DNA strand. Nine
Right.
months. They can do it now. I don't know about Pacific, but I know Illumina can do it like in 45 minutes now. So
Wow.
these guys they've really brought the test price down. I think it's only like $1,000 now. It used to be like millions of dollars and all this stuff.
So
So
for everybody at home, just to explain a little bit, what we just talked about is ARK Invest is a hedge fund or a company that invests in other companies. And so the stuff that Mike is putting out there, I would strongly suggest not to invest in it. Do your research if you invest
right,
in anything.
right.
But
And if you want to participate with ARK Invest, they have their own ETFs. They have 5 different ETFs, all disruptors. And you know what's neat? I discovered yesterday, you can go to their website, even if you're not an investor, and you can sign up for their newsletter, and they will tell you daily at the end of every day what they bought and what they sold.
oh, no way.
So I did it for the first time yesterday, and I got this little email, and it showed me the 10 companies that they sold in and out of. It was really cool. So yeah, it's kind of an education, and then you go do your own education. I do it for fun. Okay, some people like to, I don't know, play Parcheesi. I like to just go find out about stocks. So
Like, say it like Warren Buffett. Some guys like to go watch Playboy, and he's like, I just like to read stock. What is it?
yeah,
Sheets.
prospectus.
Prospectus.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm looking for the email I got yesterday. I can show it here. So it's called ARK Trading Desk, and you probably can't see this, but let's take a look. Hang on a second. Let's see.
Yep. Close. No, still don't see it.
There
Almost.
it is.
It's coming through. Boring as hell. Nope, not gonna work.
Anyways, you can tell that those are listings of stocks that they bought.
Oh,
And,
I see it. Yeah.
that was just yesterday's email, and I will actually forward it to you, Gualter, so you can.
So what is the full spectrum of Mark? I know ARKK is their tech. They're big into tech on that one.
I sent you an email because I know you don't check your emails. So
100%. Disruptive innovation.
So they've got 5, and one of them is disruption through genomics. I think that's ARK-G. They've got the one that Tesla's in, which is like AI and robotics, which I love that because, people think Tesla's a car company, but when you see that it's AI and robotics, you know that it's something very, very different. So awesome. Love
Absolutely. It. Let me see. Search right now. ARK. Do you know which one has Tesla in it?
I think it was called the ARK. Hang on, let me see. I've got them here because that list tells you which.
FinTech. I think it'd be FinTech, right?
No, FinTech is financial stuff.
Financial. Technology and robotics.
Yeah, there you go.
ARK-Q. ARK-Q. Yeah, so you've got restaurants, which, wow, that's a rough one right now, but probably a good time to buy.
So yesterday they bought Intercontinental Exchange Inc. And the reason I thought that was significant is that they bought it in 2 different ETFs. So I was like, this is my hobby. I'm like, what the hell is Intercontinental Exchange? And they actually own like the New York Stock Exchange. So that's what this company, and she just did a big bet in 2 different, when I say she, Kathy Wood is the main investor for that company. And they bought some Alphabet, which is Google. It's kind of interesting. But anyways, they'll send it to you daily. And she says she's not, what's the word? They're totally transparent. They don't care.
Yep.
And actually, Brenda brought up a good point. She's like, of course they're transparent because if they buy it and then you go buy it, it's going to go up. So, yeah, it's cool.
She's a smart lady. We've got to get her on the podcast, Mike. I think this is coming up.
She was like, no, like so fast. Like as quickly as I said yes, she said no.
So the other mutual fund or ETF would be MGK. MGK is a state.
Writing it down.
This is MGK tracks the CRSP US Mega Cap Growth Index. So the index selects growth stocks from the top 70% of investable market capitalization. The listed name for MGK is Vanguard Mega Cap Growth ETF.
Is that the international one?
This is not international. That would be VT. That's Vanguard's international, all big cap, small cap, mid cap. It's like a VTI, except VT is international.
Cool.
And VT is a little slower than MGK. MGK has a PE ratio of 40%, which just means it went up 40% over the last year. And whereas VT, I think, is closer to 11 or no, it's 22%, which is close to in line with the S&P, just a little under VTI, which VTI I think was 24%. So they're
hang on one second. We got Mitch saying ICE, ICE. They've been
ICE.
around for a while. I need to just crash this every week.
Yeah, Mitch, we definitely want you in here.
You can come in anytime you want. So.
Yeah, I think, well, Mike's got a hard stop at 11 today, but next week, I would love to have you in, and we'd love to hear more about your crypto. And I think we're going to get Ryan McDermott on the same call. This way we can talk stocks, crypto, real estate. And, right now, Mike, you're super diversified across all three. So,
I don't have any Bitcoin. That's why Mitch has to crash this, to talk about. But I did say I'm probably not going to stop at 11 because we got started so late, and I'll do that call next time.
Mike, it's a commitment. If you want to, we could do the thing. We do the thing. I'm okay with it.
We'll see where we're at.
Sounds good. So,
what is ICE? What is he talking about? ICE? Internal combustion engine?
I'm pulling it up right now. I've got a new.
Let's get Ryan on.
ICE, Intercontinental Exchange.
Oh yeah, that's the one I was talking about. That ARK is invested in. I didn't realize that was a symbol. Nice job.
Engages in the management of online marketplace. It operates through the trading and clearing and data and listing segments. The trading and clearing segments offer transaction-based executions and clearing activities. The data and listing segments includes securities and subscription-based data services. So probably a great place to get a lot of information from. Its rating is an 89% buy, analyst rating.
Wow.
It's got a dividend, 1.1%, so not exciting, but a dividend.
Sweet.
Yeah. And it looks like its 52-week high was 106. Its 52-week low is 63. It is currently at its high. It's at 103. So it's...
Send Mitch an invite right now.
Let's see.
See if you can get him in.
Invite Gmail Mitch Jorsky.
I'm just so psyched. That's the rabbit hole I love to jump down, is when I find out about these stocks. Like I found out about another battery one that's called something Euro Manganese, which apparently when Battery Day happened for Tesla, the CEO was like, oh my God, it was the greatest thing ever. They were talking about manganese. It was like a dream come true. And that Euro Manganese is now at 20 cents a share. So it's right in our wheelhouse, Gualter.
This is perfect. Penny stocks, let's go.
Let's go.
It's funny because if you read Sam Zell's book, right at the end, he's talking about like the very last hour of that book, or last couple chapters, he's talking about what his investment strategies are for the future. Yeah. And he's talking heavily about getting into disruptive markets, right? But not like disruptive markets like you and I are investing in. He's talking about emerging markets where they're just entire nations investing in those nations. And he's heavy in Brazil. I think he was heavy in, he did China for a little while, but he pulled out of China because he totally got messed up with the regulations.
Oh, really?
Heavy in Brazil. He was talking about Africa. And
just so I can give people a stock, it's Euro Manganese. It's EMN-V. So,
EMN?
Yep.
EMN-V.
And I think it's a Canadian company, even though it says Euro Manganese.
They would put the -V in there, being
Canadian. No, that's problematic, eh?
Hey. Oh man, I've been watching Gold Rush episode 10, season 10.
I don't even know what that is.
So basically what they do is they go and mine gold. And I used to watch it back in the day. I remember season 1, season 2, small operations. Like these guys are dropping 1.5 million before they start the season. And they operating costs of like $100,000 a week.
How do you like those guys, like the ones that go and go deep down in the ocean, kind of like Titanic, and they find all the coins, and that's amazing.
Nuts. I can't. I can't hold back. I watch all of these shows, Mike. I have an uncle of mine who makes fun of me. He says, have you watched this? I haven't watched that. What have you been watching? And I'll tell him, Gold Rush or
Yeah.
Hoarders or
I told you, I haven't watched it in a while, but I love watching Gary Vee when he goes to the yard sales.
100%. Like
It's so much
that's
fun. He's like, they don't realize I just bought this Michael Jordan taking off from the free throw line, stuffing the ball. I got that for $4 here, and I can sell it for over 100 because it's. And you're like, Gary Vee, really? You're like a multi-millionaire. What the hell are you doing?
And it's so exciting. My uncle made fun of me. He's like, you like to sit there and watch people work? Like you work all day and then you sit and watch people work? Like that's your entertainment? Yes, that's what makes me happy.
We went to a corn maze this weekend, and they had one of these things. It was like an old Western town made up, and for $10 they sell you a bag of sand, and then they have like this man-made sort of river that's like in wood, and you pour your thing of sand on a screen, and you get to do the gold rush thing.
Get some gold. Pan for the gold, Mike.
Yeah, they're panning for gold with this thing that has like a screen and it's made of wood. But what's fun for the kids is that they put like pretty stones in there, so that when you get to the end of it, you get a bunch of.
You get some useful stones.
Yeah, not little sprinkles of gold, but. Seemed pretty cool, panning for gold.
This is what messed me up when I was a kid. My parents took me to Alaska, and they put my hands in cold water with a pan of dirt, and out of it, I got 3 little flakes of gold. And ever since then, I would think I was 11 years older or something like that.
I didn't realize he was on.
Mitch Jaworski's in the house. Mitch Jaworski.
There it is. What's up?
I don't even know how this happened.
Mitch, do they make a Bitcoin that I can do this with?
Actually, I think they might. I think some maniac decided that they wanted to put
a little bit more of this stuff.
QR code like on a Bitcoin, so they could, I don't know, risk losing like 10 G's if they accidentally misplaced it.
That takes away the whole point of protecting yourself by having it in the cloud.
Exactly. So,
Mitch, controversial topic. I've got to ask you, Darina asked, what is it going to look like when we switch over to cryptocurrencies? And I told her, Darina, we already have. I don't know if you know this, but the dollar, I don't carry these around. I just have a digital currency in the bank. You're not going to notice the freaking difference.
Hey, time out. Before you get to that programming note. Okay, so now you've got 3 people in here. Who are you looking at now? Like, how are you?
I'm still looking at me, Mike. It's
no. Oh,
I need
great.
to figure
Better
that out.
question.
I got that call tonight, and I'm like, all right, I still can't get this figured out where it looks like I'm actually looking at the people when I'm looking at my screen. And yeah, I don't know. I might have to move. Maybe if I move over to this monitor, now it looks like I'm looking off into the distance at a sunset.
Yeah. So I will text you guys what I actually do. I'm gonna shoot you a little text so you'll see exactly what this looks like.
I think I know. I think you've explained it to me, and I've seen it obviously when I've been there. So I'm thinking about moving all my stuff to my big screen monitor and putting the camera on top of that monitor.
Yes.
All right, now I got you on speaker view. That makes more sense.
I don't know. I was just watching you guys in the live making comments, and next thing I know,
yeah, you're in
here
there.
I am.
So it looks like that.
Basically, okay, so yeah, it's kind of what I thought.
You guys are way, way in there.
Let me see. Oh, yeah.
So if I zoom in all the way.
Yep.
Oh, we're 3 across.
Yep. Just got.
How'd you make it go across with the?
By resizing the window. You resize the window, and you can get it to the point where you're there.
You can get all different angles and setup. You can have it horizontal. Like right now, I have like a triangle based on the size of the Zoom box.
Shrink a little more, or go up with it. If you go up with it, it'll go parallel.
Yep.
And then if you shrink,
I did it. I'm right in the middle though. How do I get myself out of the middle?
That's where you want to be. I mean, you're awesome.
In the middle.
Just keep an eye on.
Look at myself. I want to look at you guys. What are you talking about?
So you can.
I see all of us.
But this way, you get to see who's operating better, and you can also keep an eye on yourself. If you're making like weird faces, you'll catch it. So you learn.
But I've just given over to the fact that I'm always making weird faces.
It's not that I can do. This is just who I am.
Last week, people asked me if I would sing, so I'm just gonna live off of that. It's like, I don't care about my face as long as I just start singing.
And the answer was not no.
Yeah,
So,
of course not.
Mitch, when we talk about the dollar being very similar to cryptocurrency, it's clearly not on a blockchain, which I know what that means. But the dollars are still digital. Like nobody walks around with this stuff. I don't even save these things in my personal house, because what if the dollar drops in value and the government switches over to their currency and they call it the fucking dollar, and it just happens to be on a blockchain, and this stuff is no longer good. Like the paper is no longer worth anything, but the digital currency that's backed by the bank is still worth something. You know, say Bitcoin becomes or Ethereum becomes the coin. All the dollar is going to do is snap their finger. Like the government will snap their finger, and suddenly every dollar you have in your bank account is on a chain. It's just instant converted.
And there's already
overnight.
a pilot program.
Right.
So, and I mean, if you want to really pay attention to how digital currency is going to evolve, just watch China, because they're already doing it. Like they literally are already, I forget which cities it is, but like there's certain cities where it's already like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like they're past the pilot phase. Like they're trying to go like live, so to speak.
Yep.
So.
Well, I'd like to sit with you, Mitch, and just set up, like I want to do the hard wallet or whatever that one's called, where you have to press the button.
Same here.
Yeah, you got soft wallets and hard wallets. A soft wallet is like
I want to get the hard wallet
on your laptop. You know, a hard wallet is like an external device, like a Trezor.
Right. And then I get on Ethereum. Is that what we end up with?
You can get whatever crypto you want. Well, you got to see the hard wallets do have a suite of cryptos that they work with.
How do we get your pre-IPO one?
It's not an IPO. That's a whole, like I said, that's a whole nother thing. That's
let's do a call on that.
You gotta
our money.
You gotta work in our language. So we're used to the stock market. So we're gonna look at crypto as just a currency.
Yeah.
And
100%. No, listen, like I'm definitely gonna get you guys
we'll call it
in some Leo, and just then you can essentially just forget about. Actually, what Gualter can do is some of his content he should be posting to Leo Finance, because A, it's another crowd. B, when people vote on it, you earn Leo. So
I want to earn some Leo. It's funny.
So,
I'm coming too. Put 100 millionaires on there. I'm coming too.
There you go.
We'll call it pre-Mitch J. Lambo instead of pre-IPO, right?
I'm with it. So
yeah, so this is like you know, your little startup penny stock, so to speak, play. And then if you guys want to get, yes, exactly. And then if you want to get into you know, some big names, then you do the Bitcoin, the Ethereum, and all that stuff.
I kind of heard he never asked us before, don't you think?
I'm so offended. He talks about it all the time.
Oh, you know, it's like that.
He had to inadvertently trip over it.
Right.
You know, I don't have, unfortunately, I don't have the blanket Ryan McDermott excuse of, you know, I can't speak of this because of regulate. So I'm, you know, I'm always wary, but there's certain people that's fine. You guys like to speculate. You have speculative funds to work with. So
Mitch, I'm not going to put $1 million behind it. You know, like if
I gotta start selling better.
Mitch, Damien just put in the chat that China has been doing it for a while. Street vendors don't accept paper money anymore. So
wow. Yeah, like I said, in China, like they're trying to go digital. I mean, that's one of my biggest fears in terms of, you talk about like, you know, economic powers, and this is an opportunity to, you know, take advantage or just have a shift. And since China's years ahead of us, you know, the US is fighting crypto, and like European and Asian nations are embracing it.
Yep.
But I guess I understand why our government's fighting it, because it threatens the US dollar as their world's reserve currency. And that is, let's just not even get it twisted. That is our saving grace, is the fact that we're the reserve currency. At this point, like if it wasn't for that, like I don't know what the US would look like.
So the irony is
Chinese right now, like we would not be speaking English.
The irony is that they're ahead of us in cryptocurrency, but they still have wet markets. Really? Thank you, China.
Yeah. Well,
Well, but here's the irony is that
Oh,
I love that you went there. They still got bats shitting on their pigs
yeah.
and stuff.
Here, have this for dinner. Let's all create a COVID.
and that's not going to change. And here's the thing
COVID
too.
cocktail. Yeah.
We're not going to lose as much as like Gualter and many others don't ever use paper money anymore. I mean, I have friends that literally haven't carried a physical dollar in their wallet in years because it's just
Here's the
debit cards,
irony.
credit
I'm
cards.
carrying them now, Mitch. I'm like
There you
carrying,
go.
like, actual
Debit cards, credit cards.
Keep
But the
one
reality
left.
is, think about it, Mike. How is cash going to go away? You know, it's going to be cash is going to be around for hundreds of years. For the simple fact of think about there is such a large segment of economic activity, not just in the U.S. but in the U.S. that is cash based. That's off the books. Like think about all like the immigrants that come over illegally and work and get paid cash under the table. Like that. How is that ecosystem going to survive? Like so. There's going to be cash is going to be around a lot longer. I think people believe because of aspects of that. You know what I mean?
Well, it may switch from cash and switch to barter, right? So that like barter didn't exist before cash did, and well, there's different elements of.
I mean, do you think we're going to revert back to that? I mean, we essentially would revert from cash back to bartering.
Well,
Trade-
that's what we're talking about with
Yeah.
when those particular trades disappear, then they may shift to cash. Not cash. They may switch to a barter form,
Or
form of indentured servitude.
Or square.
or hold on, or the fact that we're at the point where everyone's got a cell phone, right? You got third world countries that don't like struggle to have running water, but they have smartphones. Like
Right.
that's where we're getting, right? So
That's why I love Square. Get rid
well,
of
yeah, exactly. But this is so there's plenty of cryptos that are privacy based coins, right? So
Right.
maybe that's what the end use ends up being for these privacy based coins. You have people that essentially are working off the books and they
Totally
want to get
agree.
paid. So instead of getting paid cash, they're getting paid in a crypto like Monero or several others that are
That's like then go trade into the legal tender, because that's the only reason people transfer cash off the grid is so that they can accept money without being seen, but then go and transact on the grid. And so it still would have to be on and off, have the ability to translate back and forth, where the dollar may lose its value entirely. It's interesting. I think.
I mean, really, the key is when you get to be able to spend your crypto, you don't even have to convert it. So, and there's going to be providers for that. There's already providers for that, where basically, they're supplying you a debit card, and you can use 12 different cryptos, and they do all the conversion on the back end. But it's not financially efficient. You're paying essentially a big tax on your money for that service. But those are also the
That's why I
companies
like
that you
the
want to
getting
invest
rid of-
in. Picks and shovels.
I like the fact that they get rid of the
Shovels.
banks in between. They get rid of the governments in between with the crypto and also with Square.
I think the government's not going to go down without a fight.
No, and that's the other thing, is the government's our protection too, right? So because the government can print the dollars, because they can just create more of the most powerful currency there is on the planet, we have lived a very good couple of years. These past 50 years have been because the government can just print more. They can just dominate the other marketplaces with their currency. We don't know 100% what the future holds, but we look at Japan. They've been in the two decades of almost no production, 2 decades of, they call them the lost years, and we just did a decade. We just did a very low production, low GDP, not creating a lot.
And we're doing everything we can to make it continue by just pumping more debt into the economy and saying, well, we're not Japan because we have this, this, and this. And that might be true. This time is different might be true, but
right.
I mean, it's definitely a risk.
And it's and this is something I've been mentioning and talking about lately a lot, is that you can buy a piece of real estate. Say you buy it say this is 5 years ago, and you bought it for $150,000. And that $150,000 house is now worth $300,000. Any market across the country, that's pretty reasonable to say over the last 5 years, that house is now worth $300,000. It's doubled its value in 5 years. So phenomenal return on investment for the investor. But the debt, say they've only paid a 30-year mortgage and they've only paid down maybe $20,000 off of that debt. So 5 years, they've paid $20,000. So now they owe $130,000, but they've they're halfway through the loan. If you look at the actual value of that property, they can go refinance for double. They could sell it for double. They could pay this thing off and have more than they paid when they bought it in cash. And so the dollar value of that debt is going down, because if somebody else went to buy it, if they went to buy that same house today, they'd pay $300,000. So the dollar value of debt is going down as well, but the value of the hard asset is going up. And so like the investors who talk about leverage, they're making so much money right now. The people who've leveraged so high and are even with high interest, me and Ron, right? Even with high interest rates, the fact that we've bought them so cheaply, those debts continue to devalue, but the hard asset continues to go up. And so that's why Buffett's moving to gold. That's why everybody's shifting over to harder assets right now, because the dollar is inflated. It is inflating. It's not deflating. We're seeing more inflation. I do think that deflation period's coming. I do think that the dollar is going to re-strengthen, but it's going to take a while. And unfortunately, the government likes inflation, just not too much of it.
Well, you talk about Buffett. I thought we had a conversation last week where I sent you that article about that they're invested in 5 stocks that are some crazy amount of his portfolio. You're just talking about the cash that's on the sideline, because Berkshire Hathaway has always had a ton of cash, and people, when you go to the annual meeting, say, wait, why aren't you buying anything? Why is it all parked on the
It's
side?
float. Their cash is float, right? So they're also a major insurance company. So they have to always have money in case something comes out. That's their reserves.
Yeah,
And he talks about
$200 billion last time I checked. It's craziness.
Yeah.
Well, and also having that cash available is when you get what I call like layup opportunities.
Right.
You got the money to go head first in, because there's nothing more frustrating than seeing the absolute no-brainer layup opportunity and you're completely illiquid and you can't. Case in point, Bitcoin at 3,500 back in February, March, and I was completely illiquid.
Yeah, barbell.
Exactly, barbell. So cash is king.
Mitch
But
didn't call us that on that either.
what is it?
I don't remember Mitch calling and saying, "Hey, Bitcoin's at 3,500. You guys should buy."
He didn't call me.
Did I even know you in February?
He didn't call me, Mike.
Mike, I know it feels like we've been friends for a decade, but I think we've actually only known each other for like 8 months.
Here's the thing, Mitch. We expect more loyalty from you in the past. We're just saying.
No, it's in my scaredy cat nature that, I hesitate to recommend things to people, because if they take a loss on it, then I feel personally like, I take that burden.
Totally get
Mitch,
that.
we're okay if you took the loss with us. It's all right.
God knows I did, but I hear you. I
would not want to be in Ryan McDermott's business. I just think that would be a tough one, to tell people to do something, and then if you don't do the right thing, I don't know. Yeah, I think I would lose sleep.
I have a hard time putting out the REITs I invest in, right? Because they are mortgage-backed securities, are a little riskier. And for me, like, I love the dividends. I love that part of my portfolio. It makes me very happy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, sharing it, I'm like I'll share it with you, because I'm like, okay, Mike, like, I know you know what to do. You're going to do whatever you're very intelligent. Same with you, Mitch. But to put it out there, people ask all the time, and I'm like, I don't really know that I should be putting this out, because
you're not a financial planner.
Not financial advice.
It's not financial.
No financial planner would say buy these, right? Like, these are a riskier asset that pays a good dividend.
Well, and that's why, I have, good friends and family that aren't, big into investing. And, when they wanted to get in Bitcoin back in like late 2017, 2018, when it was, all over the media and it was on CNBC every day. And I was like, listen to me, if you're going to buy this, if you want me to help you buy this, it's whatever money you would take to Vegas. Like, I'm only letting you invest Vegas money. And then I want you to forget about it. Like, buy it, forget about it. I will let you know when to look at it again, and then sure enough, we did get a dip, which was expected. And then I was like, all right, if you want to grab more now, same thing though, like, Vegas money that's like, you don't care if you never see it again. And that's what I said. I'm like, listen, this is you're either going to 10x your money or you're going to lose it all. And if you're not comfortable going into it with that line of thinking, then don't do it.
And here's the point. Most people don't have Vegas money. They think they do, but they do not. Most people don't have Vegas money. Mitch, I'm going to put this to you, and I'm going to put it to Mike. And by the way, little plug for this Saturday. This Saturday is the 52 weeks to wealth. We're at wealth principle 38, which is sell your product before you build or create it. Sell your product before you build or create it. And I'll talk about how to do that on Saturday. It's a life hack that'll make you rich. But that's a Saturday, 52 weeks of wealth, gualtermerlo.com/live. I want to pitch it to both of you. How do you go and how do you know you've got Vegas money? How do you decide it's time to invest in either crypto or in stocks? Is it based on how much you're making and how much you've saved? Is it based on what type of assets you're holding at the moment? What would you say if somebody came out, they're making average person, making $50,000 a year, and I know some are making less and some are making more, but say average person crushing it in life, they're feeling great, making $50,000 a year, and they've got no money in the bank yet. What is the first step?
I mean, my answer to this is that whatever amount they're investing, like, I mean, because really that's an overall question, because it's like, are you investing at all? Like, let's forget what asset you're investing in. It's just like, are you investing at all right now?
They're probably not.
What's up?
They're probably not.
Yeah, well, that's because the bottom line is, my answer is 10% of your portfolio. Like, that's the general rule. Like, you could even ask like Ryan McDermott, that's, industry standard. Like 10% of your portfolio is for speculative plays, for those like swinging for the fences plays. So whatever 10% is of your portfolio, that's your quote unquote Vegas money, in my opinion. Now the question is, do they have one? Do they have any kind of portfolio? Or like you said, if they have no money in the bank, they have no savings, all that stuff, that's a whole nother question in a way. Because it's like, all right, how do you get to yourself to a point where you are investing?
So say you save up,
let's just say someone's got $1,000 to invest, right? Which feels like nothing.
Right.
And it's like, well, hey, I want to have some crypto exposure. It's like, all right, well, throw $100 into it.
Right.
And then the other 900 invest, between, whatever, growth stocks, dividend stocks.
Prop money. Don't break into Gualter's house.
Let's, it's prop money. On the backside, we got little Japanese words. So, so let's say this is $1,000. This is what you should start investing with. And you're going to take $100. That's going to go into cryptocurrency. And then you've got this other $900. Let's build this portfolio out. What does this look like, guys?
Well, you got to remember, it's particular to the person. Like us three, we know some of that money is going into REITs, but that might not be right for other people.
Right.
But yeah, I'm putting some of that money into some REITs.
Okay, so I got a little bit in crypto. I got 100 in crypto, 10% crypto. Let's say REITs.
I would do 30% real estate, 30% stocks. So that's
I don't know if real estate's really an option right now.
Not at $1,000 for sure. It's not.
Oh, we're just using the 1,000 as example. No, I mean,
right.
True.
I mean, I was reading a book recently that they were saying if you had $1,000, you should probably invest that in something that was set for life. Saying
if you had $1,000, you should just buy Tesla, right, Mike?
Absolutely.
Oh, come on. That is the 10%.
And case in point.
We already spent the 10% on speculative stocks. Hold on.
Read my mind.
Tesla is not a speculative stock. You're as bad as CNBS.
All right. Here we go with the controversy. Good job, Mike.
I was listening to Ron Barron today, who's a billionaire investor.
Uncle Trump doesn't like this conversation. He says Tesla is okay with him.
300 million in Tesla, and then they bought another 300. 2 years later, another 300 million in Tesla.
Yep.
Wow.
So we're worried about $100.
Not about the dollar value; it's about relative percentage. So $1,000 to someone else. Listen, Mike.
Fair.
This is the only $100.
Someone is a $100,000 portfolio to someone else.
Right, exactly.
And that's the problem with the small money, is that everyone gets stuck on that, and you're like, oh, well, what am I going to do with $1,000? But it's just like, you know what? Over the course of 25 years, $1,000 can do a lot of damage.
Yes. $1,000, I would go by the richest man in Babylon.
Okay, so
you sell 10%.
Well, that's a whole nother story. Investing in yourself.
Yeah,
so
10% right off the top. Then
$100 goes to books.
buckets.
You know what I would do with $1,000? I would invest in the Alchemist mentorship program.
Oh, There we go. Best first investment gets all of us coaching you. That's okay. Mitch, well saved.
Like it.
Take your $1,000, invest in yourself,
So you can 10x.
so you can 10x, get all the rest.
Yeah, but you have like 4 or 5 buckets, right, Gualter? There's a charity bucket. There's a pay yourself first bucket. There's
Millionaire mind buckets.
bill. Yeah, exactly. What are the other ones?
So it's 50% to necessities. These are bills you can't change.
Yeah.
Then there's 10% to play, 10% to investment, 10% to charity, 10% to education, and 10% to savings, long-term savings for like vacations, buy a car, if something happens. So that's the 5 different buckets. Now, I have adjusted those percentages because I save significantly more, and I'm closer to 30% on savings for investment, 10% play, 10%, even charity. I don't give to charity.
I love from that book, the 10% play, that you are required to spend that by the end of the month.
Have to.
Because I just think that that's circulating money, and it's keeps your vibes up, high vibe.
Yeah.
Gets you going. That's important.
It's funny.
I never see you look at the camera. Look into the camera for a second.
He's looking down. Yeah, he's looking down. Mitch, what are you looking at? What's
Oh,
So
I'm
look
sorry.
right at us.
I was doing a screenshot of us, and I was going to drop it into my crypto Discord chat.
Nice.
And be like, "What's up, fellas? Representing Leo."
So say this is the income. So this is $10,000. Let's say this is you're making $50,000 a year. This is what you're able to save. Let's put that aside and say that you decide to save 20% of your income. Actually, we'll cut it in half. We'll say you're saving the 10%. This is the investment piece, right? This is that $5,000 that you were able to save throughout the year. How would you guys invest it?
Tesla.
Didn't see that coming.
Mike. All right. Okay. So Mike says Tesla.
If you were, okay, so I just picture that 10 years from now, people are going to look at me and say,
He was
wow,
a genius.
he kept-
Mike was a genius.
banging the table on Tesla, and I didn't see it. And now it's the highest, it's the best company in the world because it has like 7 streams of income. I could have jumped in when it was $500 a share. I can't believe
it all hinges on Elon Musk staying alive and not smoking weed on camera. I'm just saying, the entire company hinges.
Apple's struggling now without Steve Jobs. You're right.
Okay, all right. Mitch, save me. Mike is winning.
Apple is doing better than I thought it would post Steve Jobs. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I am blown away by Apple's production. Did you know it's 1/5 of what was it? The rich guy?
Warren
Buffett, yeah. Warren Buffett's portfolio. It's literally 1/5 of it. It's his largest position. So
you said it was like 43%. I thought I looked it up. It's way up.
43%. Yeah, it's of the 5 stocks, it's his largest position in Berkshire Hathaway. And I don't think it's that he went and bought it at full price. He bought it at a discount and it just exploded and then split, right? Did a 4-to-1 split. So
we've had it forever. I looked at my stocks the other day and I think I bought Apple at $18 a share. Boom. And that was pre-2 splits. Like that was before the 2014 split, the 2010, whatever the hell it is.
And that's the beauty about splits too.
Yeah.
You get those shares, so then when it runs up again, you have more size and so on and so forth. That's what's made Apple, really awesome for a lot of people. But also the key is actually having enough. You talking about where you bought Tesla. Like even me, like I bought Bitcoin at $600.
Wow.
But I only bought 1.5 Bitcoin. Like it was Vegas money. I'm like, I'll throw 1,000 at this. Like who cares?
Yeah.
And once it doubled, I actually sold
$18,000, right?
What's up?
Uh-oh. You sold?
Well, no, I sold. So when it doubled, I sold enough to get my money back. Actually, I shouldn't say when it doubled because I sold when it was at the point where it actually more than doubled. I sold enough to get my money out and still have 1 Bitcoin.
Right.
Nice job.
But looking back on it, I should have just held the 1.5 Bitcoin the whole time. And if not, I should have added really. But there was really no reason for me to sell to get my money out because it was Vegas money anyway.
Okay.
It's a whole different
Quick
thing
question.
if you're
Where did you
over
go?
leveraged.
Where'd you go to do that? Like when you, like, I just don't understand where you go to buy Bitcoin.
Well, considering that Mike Schein did read my, hold on, can I point the right? I did read my book.
Read that. It's awesome. I
There's
recommend.
a link. There's a Coinbase link in there. You get $10 in free Bitcoin using that link.
Okay.
Anyway,
That is good. By the way, here, give it a little plug there. I didn't know anything about Bitcoin, and it's a quick read, but it gives you a really good basis on Bitcoin.
and that was the point of it. It's 20 pages to take you from I'm clueless to okay, I understand how this works.
Yeah, Mitch, drop it in the Facebook link. Like, drop the link in the Facebook
The book.
page.
Yeah. But I mean, so right now for like the mainstream, the easiest way to get crypto is opening a Coinbase account, link it to, your bank or your credit card or whatever. So you can use fiat to purchase crypto. And then once you have it on your Coinbase, then you can transfer it to your hard wallet.
I love how
the easiest way to do it. Or
disrespect the dollar, my fiat currency.
There you go. Or if you want, you can just send me some money. I'll buy it for you, and then I'll send it to your wallet address. But that's only a Mike Schein and Gualter favor.
All right. Okay. I like that. So, Mitch, in all reality, we're in a bubble all across the board, right?
100%.
Everything's bubbling.
The irony is, do you think the bubble's going to end anytime soon? Because the government's getting ready to pump another 2 to 3 trillion into the economy for stimulus that we need.
I don't think so. I don't see us ending this bubble, and I don't know how to protect from it because I think it really is just buying in as many assets as you can, diversifying across a bunch of assets, including the dollar, including gold, including real estate, including cryptocurrencies, including businesses. Like, there's so many different avenues to.
I like that diversification you said, like businesses as well. Like I have a small investment in a friend's business, and I like that I have that source of income and that like just diversification. It is not correlated barely at all with anything else I do. And I love the fact that I have something that's so uncorrelated. And that's something, as you're talking about this, I'm thinking of like Ray Dalio's all-weather portfolio, right?
Yep.
And I mean, whoever doesn't know it, just Google like Ray Dalio all-weather portfolio. And the key about it is, and it's actually, I talk about it in my 401k book that I swear is going to come out before the end of the year, is asset allocation isn't just about, being in different types of stocks and bonds versus stocks and things like that. It's also the correlation. So when you're in gold versus crypto versus stocks, like you got to look at how correlated these things are. And the goal is, because case in point, Gualter can own 20 different REITs, but he's never going to be more than like 20% uncorrelated because they're all in the same space. So that's the point. Like if you stay in the same asset class, you can never get more. So whether you own 10 stocks or 100 stocks, you're really never going to get more than 20% uncorrelated. And by going into different assets classes, then you start spreading out that risk because they're less correlated, but you have to see really what those correlations are because there's assets that are more and less correlated to others. So people think like stocks and bonds are, completely uncorrelated, but that's not completely true. And we saw that in 2008 during the financial crash where both stocks and bonds basically crashed, which was a black swan event and who knows if it'll ever happen again, but we do know it can happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the whole reason that I love Gualter's barbell strategy.
Oh, Gualter's barbell strategy.
Wow.
I love that. I'll take it.
Yeah.
There's about to be a cease and desist coming now.
No, because my family's always invested in stocks. And I guess after you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then you start listening to Bigger Pockets, that's when you realize that there are people out there buying real estate. And I like the balance. And I think you've even said, Gualter, they're not correlated, that we did have a COVID drop in stocks for a few days, but that real estate didn't drop at all.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Nothing.
In fact, yeah, I mean, I still see it. Nothing stays on the market.
Right.
Nothing. I mean,
It's still hot. Prices are still on the rise. In fact, more so. And we're finding that even me and Ron are disconnected with what we're purchasing things at. With such a steep discount, we're so concerned. And as we're putting them on the market, they've appreciated 20-30% more than we expected.
Nice job.
And we're awesome. Like, whoa, what a gain.
Happy for you, man. That's awesome.
Man. We bought some three families at 150, and we were thinking, we're going to sell them at 250, and we'd be very happy. We looked, and the market is averaging these things around 330. And
so wait a sec, for just self-interest here. So a 3-family in Fall River.
Yeah.
What would it go for?
330 right now.
Wow.
Yeah. This
you
is
hear that, Ken
market.
Hoffman?
What is it?
You hear that, Ken Hoffman?
So this is on market, and Ron and I had no clue. Like, we just we've been so busy in acquisition in our own world off market that we weren't paying attention to what the market was actually doing as far as what they were selling for. And I mean, we check and we'd see those 330 sales and be like, yeah, that'll never happen, but they're happening. They're closing over asking, and so the market's gone in a crazy direction.
I was just looking at the three of us because, I've got your 3 across on the screen. And I noticed that we are all kind of doing this. I mean, obviously Mitch has more Bitcoin, but we all have real estate.
Yep.
We all have stocks. And obviously it's just kind of neat because they say that you should hang out with people who think like you do. And that's what we're doing. I just think it's
100%. That's why his tribe is awesome.
Yeah, and you actually put a quote on Facebook about that you may lose some of your friends because they don't.
That quote, someone else in my Facebook feed posted that a while back. What I do is when I see ones that I really like, I'll just I'll snag it, I'll save it, and I have a folder on my computer literally called motivational quotes.
I think that was Gualter's quote. So we got Gualter's.
I can tell you it was not Gualter who posted it.
Barbell, Gualter's quote.
Yeah. But yeah, so
that's nice.
I saw it posted, I grabbed it, and then I went back to it at the right time, and it's true.
There are people out there that don't have this philosophy. I remember you talk to people and you tell them about the books, and you're all impassioned about it, and they just kind of.
No, they want to, and listen, and this is not to knock my friends that, are sports junkies, because I used to be a sports junkie and I still like my sports, but now it's more of an occasion thing. Like, I'll get together with my friends one Sunday every couple months, but they're like every Sunday, football season all day long. And it's just like, well, I can't sacrifice the whole day to drink and watch football.
Amazing, because they probably like the Jets.
These are some of my fellow Jets fan friends. What's great about the Jets being so bad is I got my Sundays back after week 1. I'm like, all right, this season's already over.
That's so true. It's so funny you say that right now because I'm in the exact same boat. I was a crazy Patriots fan, and when I would drive around doing closings, all I was listening to was the 2 Boston sports radio stations all the time. I could tell you anything about the Patriots, and
my whole thing is
a whole waste of time.
Well, and here's the thing: you got to enjoy life. You got to have your leisure. You got to have your stuff to bond over, and that's that's the thing that sports brings in America. It's something for everyone to kind of bond over. But at the same time, I looked at it this way, and it really hit me when it started getting super political, and then COVID happened and everything, and I'm just like, all I'm doing by essentially buying sports jerseys and watching sports is helping other people get rich. Like, what value does this add to my life besides some entertainment? And it's like, all right, I need entertainment. I want to enjoy myself, but do I need it this much? So that's how I just had this epiphany. I was like, what value is this adding to my life? Like, this is not helping me grow, and you don't need that much entertainment.
In the mentorship program, Mike Strong has said it a couple of times that you're going to waste your Sunday watching millionaires play for billionaires, and you get nothing out of it. And I get it too, because I love it. And obviously being a Patriots fan the last 20 years has been just a blast. But I get as much of a rise by all the YouTubes I watch on stocks, and also all the all the real estate stuff we do. It's just, but that's
And that's why, have balance. It's just like, all right, sweet. You want to watch the Pats game or the Jets game? All right, sweet. I'm going to take 3 hours to
right.
watch that. But then, like, that's it. Like, I don't need to, you got people, it's like you get on, they're watching pregame at 11, fantasy sports. Like, I stopped doing fantasy football 3 years ago, and like none of my friends get it. I'm like, I don't have time for another job. I mean, it's literally like a job.
Exactly, that you don't make money. You make
unless you win. It's like, oh great, I won $1,000, and I just spent 4 months of my life literally stalking this.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, even if I win, the dollars per hour is like not a good return.
It's terrible. And like with this community, what's great about it is if I decide I'm into stocks today, or if I decide I'm into cryptocurrency today, or I want to talk about a real estate deal, everybody in this community is down to have that conversation.
Or monetizing YouTube, like with Mitch Durfee, that type of thing. Yeah.
100%. Mitch just did the monetizing. We've got this training course. There's all sorts of different avenues, with building businesses, with affiliating with each other, with writing books. There's so many fun things to talk, even down to eating healthy, right? The vegan conversations. This food is healthy. That food, try this one. Have you tried this recipe? I'm doing this exercise now, this schedule, this routine.
Full disclosure, we're vegan, and I love that. But Brenda and I have been saying that we're not eating healthy. So you can be vegan and not eat healthy. I just want you to know we're turning a corner, because there's so much crap out there that you can eat that's vegan now.
Mike, I want you to know I'm eating half vegan stuff now. I've got vegan mayonnaise in the house that I put on my chicken. I've got.
I have to say that Hellman's vegan mayonnaise is better than Vegan-A's, by the way.
I can make no claims that I'm doing any of this.
It's all accidental. Like, Dorita just buys the food, so.
So I will admit, I have been trying to go on a bit of a health kick though. So like, I may have not gone vegan, but I have refrained from having any Taco Bell for 3 weeks now.
Well, good job.
I have not done that. I think Taco Bell's close.
Did you ever read that book, Fast Food Nation, where they say they basically grind up the cows and then feed it to the other cows? So
come on, Taco Bell doesn't do that. My uncle runs
fecal matter in your meat. I'm so done. I'm so done.
So my uncle's like a general manager or a regional manager for Taco Bell in the area here. So I think he manages like 24 Taco Bells. And he told me the food is high quality, the meat is high quality.
Sure.
But he also said at the same time, because I was like, because he's vegan, which is ironic. Him and his family are vegan as well. And I asked him, I was like, so like, what's vegan on the menu? And he's like, well, just about everything.
Bean burrito.
Everything without meat. You could order anything on that menu without meat, and you'd be pretty much vegan, vegetarian anyway.
And since we reached the West Coast, they have Del Taco. Actually, Del Taco now sells tacos with Beyond Meat in there. So if you want to do that, it's all coming. It's awesome, but it's processed. I guess that was my point. There's so much processed stuff out that we're trying to get to, like whole foods, like eat your broccoli, eat your veggies, your fruits, all that stuff. So it's still a work in progress. I don't claim to be super healthy, but at least we have it as a focus. Yeah.
I like it, Mike. So you're an inspiration. Speaking of the West Coast, good point.
West Coast.
We started marketing.
Compton. Yeah.
We increased our marketing, and so now instead of spending our $1,500 a month, we're spending $3,000 a month on ads and pushing this out here. And I just talked to Ron this week, and we're talking about jumping it up to $6,000 to $7,000 a month on boosting ads, bringing people into the events, getting it so that we can get our message out. It's intense, and when you start marketing with those dollars, you don't know what's working. You got to keep an eye on everything.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're bringing in enough money to justify it, and so it's exciting.
Terry Wager must be psyched.
Well, he's been begging us to get on the West Coast for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Portland was actually the first one we opened up. We opened up Portland, Seattle, and San Diego, San Francisco, LA. And
where's Doug McGurk? Where's he out of?
He's right by me.
Oh, he's in Florida also?
Yeah, he literally lives like 20 minutes north of me.
You guys see each other a lot, or?
I saw him and Mitch Durfee at a networking event like a month ago.
I saw you sent that picture of COVID.
Yeah.
What COVID?
Yeah. No, The irony is I see you and Gualter more than I see Mitch and Doug.
Yeah.
But I mean, admittedly, I've been up to Massachusetts a lot lately, so
Right.
got to get it in before the weather gets cold, because I am not leaving Florida from like November to March.
That's
No,
cool. That means I won't. I'll still get to see Gualter and Dorina even when they're down there, because it's we're all on Zoom now.
100%.
Yeah, I can't wait for the Florida alchemist gathering.
I want to say the same thing, Mitch. I'm not leaving Florida from November to March, but I've committed to like flying back here once a month for the.
Well, I mean, I'll be in New York during Christmas holidays, so. But
oh yeah, I'll come back.
I have 2 gas fireplaces in my house.
There you go. Plus, I mean,
no, we survived the winter. It's the only way.
It's gonna be cozy with the snow coming down.
There you go.
It's the only way to survive. You got to have the gas fireplaces, otherwise.
I love it because you click it. You wake up in the morning, you press a button. You don't have to go get your wood and drop it on the fire.
Mike, I got to ask: is your dad? Did he stay in Florida all year round this year?
Yeah, this is the first time in 25 years since they bought down there that they did not come back to Narragansett. And my brother was the benefactor of that. My brother took the summer house and just.
He basically said, "I'm living here for the summer."
He crushed it. Yeah, so it was awesome. Yeah, so they stayed down there. I mean, obviously they're both in their 80s. I mean, they're in great shape and stuff like that, but still just stayed in and, didn't get COVID, even in Florida. So
yeah, I think it probably made a lot of sense. But do you think they'll come back next year now that they've gotten a taste of Florida for a full season?
my dad loves being up here at his own house. The trick is that down there, they're in a gated community where the community will get them anything they want. So if they need to get their prescriptions, there's someone who will drive and go get the prescription. If they need food, the food is delivered right from the community, right to their doorstep every day.
So it's really tough coming home then.
Yeah, well, here they would have to go to the supermarket and stuff like that.
The convenience factor is high.
Yep. So
Yeah, I can see that how that would be a temptation to not come back.
it's hot down there, right, Mitch? I mean,
What's up?
they usually come June 1st, like June through October. It's freaking hot in Florida.
I mean, listen, it was 91 here yesterday.
It was not
I haven't been outside yet today, but like I'm going to play basketball at 5:00 today, and like I fully expect to be sucking wind because it's just so hot and humid.
I love that. Whenever we go down to Florida, even if it's in April, I'll go out for a run. I love the heat. I'm just,
Yeah, me and the humidity are not friends. I was not built to live in Florida, but at the same time, my blood thinned. So I'm never going to be living in a cold weather state full time ever again.
Yeah, my dad was always like a super tough guy. And then he came up after his blood thinned. So like it's up here in the winter and he was like, oh my God, it looked like he was freezing.
Yeah, don't get it twisted. In a way, Florida kind of makes you soft. Because, I was a freaking polar bear when I lived in New York. I was the guy walking around in jeans and a t-shirt like dead winter. I mean, granted, I was also like 24, 25 at the time, so that helped. But once my blood thins, forget about it. It takes at least a year, but I'd say it takes like 2 years living in Florida. Because I remember like the first winter I lived in Florida, it'd be like 58 degrees and there's people wearing like full winter coats and I'm walking around in like a polo laughing at them like, what is wrong with you? And then sure enough, the next winter I was wearing a coat too.
That's
cool. It was like that for when I was over in Vegas. I stayed there for the winter and I had the same clothes that I wore all year throughout even at night, like people be putting on hoodies and jackets and bundling up. And, I'm looking, it's like 50 degrees, guys. What are we doing? Like, why are we, why is this an issue?
My dad sent me a picture of my mom last year. It was like 56 degrees in Florida.
Yep.
She had her down coat with the scarf, with the hat, doing her morning walk.
I mean, I'm not even going to front it. When it gets under 68 here, I feel chilly.
That's awesome.
Also, you got to remember too, it's a wet cold because it's so humid.
Yeah.
So a 68 degrees, like when I'm hanging out on Long Island, is a lot different than a 68 in Florida.
That's a heavy cross to bear.
I'm looking forward to it, Mitch. I've been planning this trip for about 6 months now. So the next 6 months in Florida, I'm gonna be okay.
I'm gonna visit both of you. while you're down there. So
Mitch, Mike, you and the family are welcome to come down anytime. Come down, hang out with us. We'll network. And I think that we're going to work on, we want to do Alchemist, the conference at the end of, want to do it at the beginning of the year in Vegas. We may end up shifting it to Florida. Vegas just doesn't seem like it's opening up fast enough. And Florida seems to be one of the faster states.
You can't walk on fire there, as Doug told us.
That's one of the weird parts, you know?
Have either of you ever done that?
No, it's on my to-do list. I was supposed to go to Tony Robbins this year and walk on fire, but now I'm on Zoom.
So off my to-do list.
Thank you, Mike. I'm glad you said it first because it's something that I will never. My mentor actually did it, and he actually ended up getting like a little foot burn action. And I started doing research on it, right, in terms of like how it works and like who's prone to have problems. And he actually has I think flat feet, but I have really high arches, and it's actually like the worst possible scenario to do the firewalk. So whatever, I'm not like limiting belief. Hell no. I've done the research. I am not doing that because the probability is I'm going to have a bad turnout.
Well, there's always
maybe I sprint across it.
There's always facts that support your limiting belief.
There you go.
Well, there's always facts to your limiting belief.
I'm okay with that limiting belief. I'll break boards. I'll do whatever you want, but I'm not walking on fire.
Walk on glass?
I've jumped off a building. I've done the breaking boards. I've broken arrows with my neck, and I've broken needles with my hands. But I have firewalking to do. I've got walking on glass. I've got jump out of plane. I'm not doing. It's just the risk factor is too fucking high.
Oh, see, I'll skydive all day long before I would walk on fire.
Have you done the math on surviving a skydive? I'm just saying that you've got a better chance of surviving walking on fire, right? It's gonna be okay.
Oh, walking on fire is not. See, there's something fundamentally wrong with me because apparently I'm afraid of injury, but I'm not afraid of death. So there's something. It's just like, I mean, maybe I don't know, a couple near-death experiences maybe change your perspective, but like, yeah, I'm more afraid of getting hurt than I am of dying. I look at it this way: there's something else after this, so it's just like, all right, sweet. If I die, I'm just leveling up to the next thing.
Mitch, what if there's not? What if this is the end game, bro? Just say.
Nope, I'm gonna go dominate in the spiritual world.
I thought there was a physics thing or a science thing. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So you definitely
your energy has to go somewhere.
Yep.
Well, okay, you may not value your life, but we got a lot of questions to ask, and we got a lot of debate and information and businesses to build. So you have to protect yourself for the next 100 years because that's how long we're living. 150. So
that's funny. I said to Ken Hoffman, I said, I'm going to live to 150. And he said, I'm not limiting myself.
I love it.
As long as I'm functional, I'm down with living to 150. But if I'm going to be like in a diaper, in a wheelchair, then no, thank you.
Well, don't limit yourself, Mitch. I mean, obviously, just make sure that you're not in a diaper or a wheelchair.
And this is why we need to eat healthy and stop going to Taco Bell.
Well, Carlos Bello says he's going to Florida today.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Carlos.
It's a big state. It's funny. For years that's happened. Friends and family like, oh, I'm heading down to Florida. I'm like, all right, well, where? And it's like, oh, I'm going to Orlando. I'm like, all right, you realize it's 3 hours from me, right?
Yeah.
So, and what's nice about Florida is all of it is nice. If you were telling me you're coming to Massachusetts and you're going to hang out in the Berkshires, I'd be like, well, the fuck, I'll never see you. That's pretty far out there in the wrong direction.
Wait, who are you kidding?
I'm a huge fan of Key West.
Key West.
I love Key West, and I have on my vision board a picture of Hemingway's house in Key West. It's beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go see it, it's awesome. Ernest Hemingway's house, you can see where he wrote. He's got a little back office. It's cool. Key West.
That's awesome.
Excellent. You know whose office I was fascinated by? Andrew Carnegie. On his wall, he has a saying, all is good because all creates belief and inspires belief. All is good because all inspires belief. And I've brought that to mean that everything you run into makes you think about something. Every opportunity makes you think, and so there is something valuable in that opportunity. So offices, and it just anytime I think of a successful person's office, I think of that quote.
I was talking to Brenda today, and because Esther Hicks talks about that. The negative things, she calls them contrast. So anything that's you think is negative is actually creating contrast. It makes you know what you want because you know what you don't want.
Right.
I thought that was great. Yeah, same idea. It's funny how it seems to always happen.
Yeah.
You mention something and I'll be like talking today about the exact same thing. So
I say we get Brenda on the podcast. It's a necessity. She's a major part of the 100 Millionaires in her own way. She's supporting and building and growing.
Right. Then you guys will dump me. I'll never get to come on again.
Please, no, you're integral.
So awesome.
I was thinking about what you were just saying with that quote, and knowing what you don't want, and then obviously that
Yeah,
I guess
you know what you
the
do.
opposite is knowing what you want. But the problem is knowing what you don't want. You got to make sure you don't focus on that, because you bring what you focus. Like that's, since I have a defensive mentality or a fear-based mentality as opposed to a greed-based. Like, I'm good at recognizing what I don't want. The problem is if you focus on that, that's what you keep getting.
You'll create it.
I think that's why Esther calls it contrast. I think she's taking or Abraham or whatever, she's taking a very light approach to it. She's saying,
yeah, it's all about the way you use it.
I see that and I know I don't want that, and now I'm moving to here. Like, I see that I don't want to walk on fire, so I'd like to go swim in a swimming pool in Vegas while you guys are doing that. See how that works?
Pool party. Now you're talking my language.
No,
You know where to
okay.
find me in
All right.
Vegas.
I want to be at the pool party too. So
Gualter's going to set up the
on.
firewalk. It's going to be literally like right next to the pool. So you firewalk, jump into the pool.
I've solved your problem, Mitch. I don't care
There you
how
go.
high
I'm
your
good.
heels are.
I'll cheer from you from the bar stool in the pool.
I love this event already. I'm down. We'll talk real estate. We'll talk crypto. We'll talk stocks. Ticket is about $1,000. You got to show up because you're buying our beer tab. So
Yeah. Mitch and I'll be walking on water. That's what we're going to do.
There we go. If we can pull that off.
I got
Yeah.
a coaching call with two of our students back to back. I got a Zoom call with Annie Santana,
Oh,
and
nice.
then I got Henry
Henry!
signed up. So
I got Henry in the group. I'm so excited. He's gonna crush it. He's already moving through things like so fast. He's asking me for contracts. He's
been in the wholesale mastermind for a little while now. So he's been in there taking steps. Annie's been watching us she's been in the Saturday calls with the mentorship group and everything. So she's listening, watching. She's heard the pitch 100 times and she was like, yeah, I've got to get in on this. But the homework, dude, she's dialed in on the homework. Henry's already read the foundational 5. Like, so they're moving along before they even get to us because they already know about.
That's what blew me away the other day in the mentorship. I think I said it when we went out to the breakout rooms and I was leading. The 4 people in there were just crushing it. It's kind of like you're sitting there going, here to clap for you. You don't really need too much guidance. You're just crushing it. It's so awesome. Yeah.
We're spilling over knowledge every Saturday. Every time we get on these calls, we're spilling over this knowledge. They're taking it. They're showing up to us having already established a firm base. And so these are the best students we've ever had. And not in any way to take away from the previous students, which were all phenomenal. But they're getting better, or they're coming pre-qualified, which is amazing.
And again, I just love the community. I feel like we're so supportive of one another, and there's no
The community rocks.
at all.
And
We all want each other to succeed, and that's just a lot of fun. And then when you get someone new, like I said, when Henry comes in, I just want him to succeed. I'm just like, here, it's an open book. This is what I'm doing. This is talk to these people, talk to Mitch, talk to Gualter, and you're on your way. It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
And the beauty is too, we celebrate everyone's wins. And speaking of wins, Mike, I just got a text that says from the seller, everything's good now. Let's get everyone together on this. I emailed you the discharge. So allegedly the discharge has finally come through.
Yay.
And hopefully we can close then. What? I don't see any reason why we can't close by the end of the week.
Right.
Nice.
Great.
Sounds like another good real estate deal getting done.
Best text I got all day.
That's a single family. That's a multifamily. That's the
It's
4
a
family.
4 family.
Nice.
Look at you. We're not going to say what town it's in.
No.
This is a town that shall not be mentioned.
That's going to be fun tonight when I'm teaching the Burr strategy and I do my example property that I'll just fail to list the city on.
We are looking forward to
Scarcity mindset.
I know, I got to
Mitch,
stop.
we gotta get rid of that. So we're looking forward to tonight. Mitch will be speaking at the Multifamily Network.
Yeah. Can
He's
we
gonna be
put that
talking
link
about-
into the Facebook or something, or how do we do that?
Darina will make sure that link is on the
She's
Facebook.
got the link everywhere already. It's all good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's nice.
I'm like, oh my God, stop promoting it so much.
Well, I'm gonna be there too. I want to watch. You know what?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll be promoting it, and Darina will be speaking next week. So this week, next month. So this month we're getting how to evaluate deals. Next month we're getting the actual pulse of the marketplace. So the podcast, the blog I just wrote about the different reasons why I don't see a crash coming for real estate is only a small piece of what she's going to talk about. And like Mitch said a little bit earlier, this is a bubble all over the place. It's bubble in cash. It's bubble in stocks. It's a bubble in the ETFs. It's a bubble in the indexes. It's a bubble in the cryptocurrencies.
Who's that speaker you're talking about? Who's next month? What are you saying?
That's Darina. So Darina is next month.
You know, if I had known that, I would have been like, hey, Darina, can we flip flop? Because she had asked me if I wanted to do it. And I'm like, well, I'm like, timing wise, it's not that great this month, but screw it. I'll make it happen. So could have traded her. But let's be clear, Gualter, I'm actually not getting into how to evaluate a deal because I discussed that with Matt and Darina. It's like we have an educated crowd. There will be newbies. I'm basically just getting into how I go about analyzing a deal for like how I go about the Burr strategy. So I'm not going to get into specifically how to analyze a deal. I'll show numbers on how I, come up with if a Burr deal will work, but it's mainly just the Burr strategy. It's actually going to be hilarious when everyone realizes how freaking simple it really is.
Right?
Like we're going to get to the end of it and I'm going to be like, sorry guys, there's no magic trick. Like that's really all there is to it.
You posted that on Facebook or somewhere. Right? You said that you realized that, and this is what we were talking about last week. 10% is the doing of it. 90% is mindset.
100%.
But
anyone can learn the fundamentals of investing in real estate.
Exactly.
And it's out of all the things you can invest in, it's literally the easiest thing to understand.
Exactly.
Just like anyone can learn how to trade stocks, read charts. Here's patterns. Here's signals. Like that has nothing to do if you're going to have success or not.
I think that was the benefit of me listening to so many Bigger Pockets episodes, was that if you're just constantly listening, you realize that all these people from all these very different places in their lives could do it. And
they're all doing the same thing in the end.
Yep, exactly.
And that's the thing. Like everyone wants that, like with trading, everyone wants that black box. Everyone wants that magic bullet, that magic strategy with real estate investing. And it's just like, no, like you're wholesaling, you're flipping, you're doing rental properties. Those are the three pillars.
Right.
Get good at one of them.
Or you're lending money, notes.
Yeah, or you're lending money. But it's just like, and then you got within there, it's like within wholesaling now, it's like you got all these new marketing and astro flipping. But I was like, okay, so you're wholesaling. All right,
mini flipping. I saw that last time.
And it's like, whatever. I get it. Like you need to market yourself to make yourself stand out. But at the same time, it's like don't try and like BS me. Like it's a wholesaling course.
Yeah. So you had like attorneys. I'm Bigger Pockets. You had like attorneys. You had like a single mom in Detroit. You had a lot of military couples that said that they wanted to do something, and all different walks of life. But then they all end up just jumping in, getting the mindset, and becoming successful at it.
Yes. It's all about investing with the same principles, but catering them to your goals and your lifestyle. Like, like you said, military people, it's like, you're going to be in all these different locations, then great. Grab a property every location you go to. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense for me.
That made me think we got to have Mitch Durfee on next time, military man who.
Heck yeah.
Where was he? He was in Afghanistan where he said, I want him.
He was in Afghanistan when he started
get Mitch on.
Chasing after real estate.
Yeah. It's cool.
So if you can invest from Afghanistan, you can invest from anywhere.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Cool,
Does that guy got to wear that outfit he was wearing though on his first?
Oh God. The TikTok video that you can't unsee.
Yeah, that's right. You can't unsee that. God bless him. Go out there. Get it.
Anyway, always fun. Glad I could jump in with you guys. Gualter's got people to mentor, so
I'm gonna
let him do his thing.
Yeah.
And I will see you guys this evening.
Hold on, Mitch Shorsky, what is your tagline? What do you say when we're signing off?
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because when I built my PowerPoint presentation, I have a different quote in there. And I'm like, crap, I need to figure out how to put in the one that Gualter wants in there. And I didn't do it. So, and it's beautiful because it really is true with rental properties. Organize and collect.
There it is. Mike Schein, sign us off. What do you got?
Massive income from passive income. Go get it, people.
When you have a choice, always work with the best. Cheers to your success. Later, guys.
Later.
Great. I'll see you later. See you tonight.
See you tonight.
I love it.
Peace. Peace.